So, good morning. Thank you for joining. So, in our last class, we went ahead and we started exploring what are case types all about. And we transformed our workflow, which we had built, into a case type. What did we do? We came to case types from Record Explorer and we added a case type for insurance, under which we added stages, processes, and steps. That is something we accomplished. Yes or no? Right? We're able to see that okay, adding this is not a big challenge. We just have to know what exactly our process is going to do, or our a transaction is all about. And if you know that, you can pretty much draft out what are the stages associated with your case, as well as what are the processes. Every stage has processes associated with that. For example, basic info has a basic info process or a workflow associated with that. Workflow is nothing but a flow rule, which you have already seen. In that flow rule, all these steps are nothing but these are assignments. This collection of information collection steps are nothing but assignments, which we saw other day. If I open this basic information, I'll see that these are assignments which are there. Yes or no, guys? We right? We added the case type and we added all these steps there along with their processes. Now we'll try to enhance this, and we'll try to open each and every flow here and change the corresponding flow actions. For example, this particular connector has a flow action. Let's open the process. To open the process, you can click on this thing. This should be opening you the flow rule. See, flow basic info, which the Pega application automatically created once you declared your case types. Now what we will do, we will try to add the flow actions which we have already built into these connectors which are available here. Does it make sense? Yes? No? Do you understand how exactly we can come to this flow from a case type? Of course, you can go back to your steps and stages. Every time you do a change, ultimately what Pega is doing, it is doing the change here as well as at the back end. If you see your app under the work class, it created this insurance class for to support this insurance case type. Yes or no? It created that, and then we were able to see that it has created processes. For every stage, it has created a process. Right? For every stage, it has created a process. For basic info, for vehicle info, for loss info, approval info, address info. It has already created that, which is good. Fine. Now let us try to open each of these flows. These are nothing but flows. Flow, this is also a flow, this is also a flow. Stages, processes, steps of those processes. That's what it is. Case design is nothing but knowing your stages, what stages your work object is going to go through, what all processes are associated with that, and each and every process has steps, what all steps are associated with that process. It's all about that. You can draft it out and you should be able to you know put it together. Not a big thing, not a big deal. So now, as this as the part of this particular exercise, what we will do, we will try to map our flow actions which we already have to these flows. Let me start with my basic info, which is part of create form default, which Pega automatically created for me. Perfect. Let me open this customer details. No properties set. Perfect. Let me click on the assignment. Here I should get an option to pick my flow action. Right now it is telling create and it's not allowing me to edit because this is in It is checked in and it is in locked. So let me check out this for me to modify, because we skimmed everything and kept it in 10102 02-01 this minor skim. Let us modify this. If you see, where is this assignment flow action coming for modification? On the assignment shape here. Yes or no? Right. Let us pick our flow action. What flow action are we trying to show here? Customer details. Customer details, flow action. See, all we have to do is just map those flow actions correspondingly to those particular assignments. Transaction details, we already have. Transaction flow action. Submit. Done. Similarly, do it for all the available flows. Open the vehicle flow. Map the flow actions. Sorry, I have to check it out. This has to be auto vehicle details. If we have auto vehicle flow action, let us check. Process flow action. Auto vehicle flow action. Okay, perfect. I can choose that. Auto vehicle flow action. Perfect. Done. Save it. Similarly, complete it for all the other flows. What other flows do we have? If you see, there is a difference between the basic info flow and this flow. The basic info flow is your, what is this? This is a screen flow. That is why you are able to configure this, the assignments on the flow actions on assignment shape. This was automatically created by Pega. When we created the case type, it automatically gave us this flow. So if you want, you can delete this and create a normal process flow instead of screen flow. Yes or no? How can I understand if it is a process flow or a screen flow, guys? How do I know? Yes. How do I know if it is a process flow or a screen flow, guys? Very good. Very good. See, on start shape, you can also modify status and routing. This is how you will know. So by default it has given a screen flow. Let us keep it as it is. No issues as such. You will understand how exactly a screen flow and a process flow both are associated in one single process and how exactly we can use them, which is good. No problem. So in that way we did for vehicle info. What else do we have in the insurance process? Vehicle and loss info is there. Okay, let me open the loss info flow and modify it. Check out. Let me map the loss flow action. All these sections we have already developed. Nothing you have to develop here. I mean the flow actions which internally have those sections, corresponding sections. Same way we have address info. Yes or no? Have we created all those flow actions, guys? Yes, no, right? We have already created them. So this is how you can actually stitch these rules together Because we already built that flow from scratch, we know where these details are coming from. You don't have to worry about how are these details coming from. We already actually built this baby from scratch, right? We know that these flow actions are something which we built. We have configured them and we used it in our flows. That's what we did. That is why we are able to see them here. Okay, let's go to approval info. Let me add approval details in the same way. Of course, I have to check it out. Approval flow action. Perfect. All these flow actions, we have developed them. We developed each and every flow action here. Perfect. So right now we added all our flow actions to be accurate. Also, what I want to do is let me save this case type. Now all these have our latest flow actions. You are not owner of this checked out tool. Who is the owner, bro? Let's do some bulk actions. Let's check in all our changes first. Of course, to check in, I just have to click on this particular option and I should be able to check in. Select all. Just checking in what is necessary for this particular change. Work in progress, bulk prefix, insert. This will insert work in progress for all the rules I want to check in. And you would have chosen check in or discard or whatever you want to do. Check in. Right now I want to check in. Start, and this should check in all my rules. Do we understand how to perform a bulk check-in, guys? Once you are doing development, lot of rules you will be opening. This is how you will be performing bulk check-in. Does it make sense? Yes. In ideal environment, you would be giving here, for example, if you are working on a Jira, they will give you a specific number for that Jira. You can actually put that and add your name, working, pushing my changes. Like, for example, Jira number 1234 or something. Pushing my changes for weekend release, something like that, and insert. How does it help you? You can, whenever you are trying to, someone is trying to view this thing, he will know that, oh, okay, this was pushed for this particular change. Yes or no? Yes or no, guys? Perfect. Open the process. Stepped in. Why is it telling it is still? Let me go to case type and open it and see if our changes are going through. Save and run. This should give us a new insurance case. I hyphen something. Perfect. So I see my case getting created and all my details populating here. I also see whatever I have configured because my flow actions, I have referred my flow actions. Now I can see them here. Yes or no, guys? Perfect. Right? See everything which you had created. This is how it would look on a user's screen. That's how you are able to see the application. Click continue. So right now you are in the case, but you are in the first stage. That is why you have these two stops because these are the steps in your stage. Do we agree? See, this is your breadcrumb for the stages. This is the breadcrumb for your steps. This is what you see in your Amazon orders also. Shipped, in transit and stuff like that. Same thing is what this is. Person vehicle and then agency code. Let's say G2 number. Okay. Create. Now this should give you your vehicle information. C class 2. Nah. If this is a brand new vehicle, just check this and you will be jumping to this thing. Right now you won't check that. Let us submit and see if everything is coming as expected. Last information, whatever is the last information, you can specify that if there is any. Submit. Take it to approve or reject. Say I want to approve it. Next, you should be able to provide the address info. Whatever is the address you can give. RP Road. See, all your rules you created are working here. Yes or no? Your data transform to copy you had created. Everything is working. You created the rules once, but you are using multiple times. In the flow also we tried it out, it worked. In your case also we are using, it's working. Yes or no, guys? Perfect. That's good. Perfect. So this is the last step where case closure is happening. However, the status is still showing as new. Let us see if we can modify that. I don't want it to appear as new. I want that to appear as, for example, resolved. Let us say. Okay, let me come on this guy. Case closure. So on case closure, when I click, I am getting an option to resolve this case. Yes or no? See? Wait for the user action, automatically move to next stage, or resolve the case. I want to resolve the case. All I have to do is just select this radio button to resolve the case because that is the last step in my process. All I want to do is resolve that case. Can I do that? Yes? No? We can do that, right? Perfect. So that's what you have to do. Just if you save and run, you should be able to see the new change. The case would get resolved on that stage. Does it make sense? Also, something which you have to notice is from the header bar, when you click on create, now we are able to get our case here, insurance. We don't have to go to the flow and the case type and run. You can just click on create. Should let you create a case type. I003. 3. Make sense, guys? Straightforward. Yes. No. Perfect. Very good. So this is how you will be understanding how exactly you can proceed further with this particular flow. If I click on any of the stages, I can see where exactly we are and what we have completed. See, when you click on any of these stages, you see that what the user's journey has been. For example, on a Friday, you close, like a user would be assigned, like for a customer sales representative, he will have 50 to 60 cases. He can't remember which case is on what stage. All he can do is come into the system on Monday, click on open every case he has, and he can just click on it and see what all he has already completed. Yes or no? Can you do that? This is nothing but the life cycle of your case, where exactly you are in the life cycle of the case, right? This gives you understanding of where exactly you are in life cycle of the case. You are right now in loss info, where you have already completed these stages, which involved these steps. See how the application which you built is getting more advanced and more features are getting added. Knowingly or unknowingly, you are seeing all these changes, but you have seen how exactly all these pieces have come together. Very important. Is this making sense, guys? Yes? No? Very good. So we did add the status change. Let us see if we can verify that. Submit. See? All you have to do is just select resolve this case on closure. Understood, guys? Yes? No? Perfect. Let's modify this case type further. Now let's try to jump into some advanced shapes which we can understand. All I want to do is right now, let us say I want to change the stage. So one of the questions will be, can you change the stages or jump the stages in between? How can you do it is what they'll be asking you. How can you change the stage from one stage? You should be able to jump to a later stage. Let us say from basic info stage to approval info or address info or loss info. How can you jump will be a question. To do that, we will be utilizing one of the shapes which is called as change stage. Let's try to see where exactly I can find it. Just click on add a step and sorry, I don't want this. I want to add a step, but it should be a stage, right? That's what I want to do. To do that, all I can do is come on. Somehow the cursor is not responding. Why is it not giving me? Double should pop me up with a option to modify or add a new stage. Come on. Okay, perfect. The issue here is because this is a screen flow, we are not able to add it. That's okay. Let's try to add it on this on the vehicle info stage. Let me click on add. And now whenever you try to add, you will see that it prompts you with option to choose what do you want to add. For example, right now I want to switch or change to a different stage from this particular stage. From vehicle info, let us say I want to jump into approval info or something like that. Okay, to do that I'll be utilizing add automation shapes. How can I reach there? Just click on the step and you'll be able to you'll be getting three dots there. So if you click on step, you can add another collect information, which will be a normal assignment like this. You can add a approve or reject, which will be pretty much like a decisioning, or you can add a multi-step form, which is nothing but this is the multi-step form. So here I want to add a shape which will help me skip and go to a different stage. That's what I want to achieve here. To do that, I'll be accessing this automations. This will be giving me smart shapes which will be helping in automation. All we are trying to do is automate the flow so that it can jump to a different stage from this current stage. And if I click on automations, I see that there is option to change to a different stage. Yes or no? Are you able to see that? Yes? No, guys? Right? You can click on this thing and this will help you to go to a different stage. See, change to a specific stage. Click select, it gets added to your process and you will see this yellow icon and it is which looks like a stage. See, it's gray, but this here you will see as yellow, where you can specify and tell where do you want to jump. For example, from vehicle info, if I want to come back to basic info, let us say, I can tell that. Or if I have to jump to a further screen, I can tell that. See, I want to, if I have to skip loss info and I want to go to approval info, I can tell that. Does it make sense? Yes? No? Showing you again. So in this requirement, I want to jump from a given stage to a later stage. To achieve that, we will be making use of something called as change stage. That is a automation shape or a smart shape that can be accessed when you try to click on adding a new step to any process flow which is under a stage. Click on these three dots and click on automations and you can jump from a given stage to a different stage. You will be getting a question, how can you jump from a one stage to a different stage? How can you skip stages? There is a change to a stage option available. Just select that and then you can tell here where do you want to go. See, let's say I want to go to approval info instead of loss info. All I can do is save and run. Right, continue. transaction. From vehicle info, I should be able to jump to this. Let us see if that is happening. Does it make sense, guys? How can you jump between stages? Yes, no. See, we didn't go to loss info at all. If I click on this guy, in my journey, loss info is not there. We directly jumped here. Does it make sense? Yes, no. Perfect. That's good. That's a decent understanding with respect to how we can create a case, how we can add stages to it, how we can add flows to it, in the sense processes to it, and those processes have steps. All these steps are nothing but flows within Pega. If you open this, you will be able to go to that process. See, change stage shape. You didn't add this shape, but the flow is automatically getting built as you are modifying your case type. Does it make sense? This is how you will have to relate to any given case type which is there for your access, or for you to understand. This is how you will have to open and understand. Oh, this is what is happening. Perfect. Now that we have understood this, let me delete this. I don't want this right now. We understood how change stage and stuff works. Perfect. Going further, let us say I want to have sub cases to this. In the sense, your Amazon order is a parent order. Under that order, there is a shipping order where the shipping gets completed, and then that is getting it's getting for example, you ordered something, and then the procurement happens from a company, and that company again has a shipping company who does the shipping for you. So they have two different cases. In the sense, your order, the parent order of Amazon, will be your parent case, and whatever, for example, shipping or procurement, if for that they have different flows, they want to call that as sub cases for that. Does it make sense? There will be a parent case and a sub case. Let's try to see how exactly we can have sub cases in a parent case. Let us say insurance is my parent case, and as part of this I want to have few sub cases, and the sub cases could be anything. Let us say we want to perform some verification. There's a verification process we want to trigger. For example, if anyone is joining any company, you will see that your onboarding will be initiated. Parallelly, they will also do something called as BGV, background verification. That process is parallel to your onboarding. While you are being onboarded, someone will also go and verify if your certificates are legitimate, your addresses are legitimate, your previous company details are legitimate. This is a background verification they will do. They will go to your home, your location, to identify, is he a right person? Does he have any affiliations with criminal activities or stuff like that? They do some background verification about you. This is a parallel process which is going on with your onboarding. Your onboarding is all everything to do with the company, but at the same time they also want to do a background verification which runs in parallel. This is an ideal example for parent case and sub case model. Do we understand, guys? Yes, no? Perfect. So today in this process, let us say in this case, insurance case, let us say we also want to do verification and approval as sub cases. All we have to do is we should be able to add those sub cases to this case. How can we do it? Nothing. Just go back to your case types and click on these three dots. On your parent case, I'm telling insurance is my parent case. Yes or no? Onboarding employee is the parent case. Verification by BGV is a child case for that parent case. Do we agree? To do that, just click on these three dots from case types. Click on your case type, parent case type. Click on these three dots and you will see option to add a child case type. Does it make sense? It's not an existing case type. You want to create a new case type here. So let us choose new case type and I want to give a name. Let us say this is verification process for this insurance to be provided. You want to verify if this guy is eligible, if this guy doesn't have any loans or anything. Is he a sane driver? Does he have any, you know, violation records? You want to verify that. Once you give the name verification, just click on the advanced settings. And the directed parent is not work but insurance, right? Insurance class got created when we created the insurance case type. Yes or no? So you have to choose insurance here. Your insurance class. The pattern could be this. Pattern just means that once if it doesn't find a property here, it is going to go one level higher, which is work class, which is fine, no problem for me. But the directed parent should be insurance class. Now let us see what happens. Before I add this, let me cancel this and show you how our work class looks like today. Hold on. Let me collapse this. Ignore this. Let me unpin this. Okay, perfect. Let me pin the insurance class. Let us see. So right now, how many classes do you see under work class, guys? Insurance class, work dash insurance, right? Perfect. Now all we want to do is we want to add a new case type. We don't see any other class under this. Yes or no? Only insurance class under work class what we are seeing. Now we are trying to add a new case type which is verification, right? And then I want this to be mapped to insurance. Perfect. And pretty simple. Verification, submit. This should give you a new case type, a new case type for verification, which is a child of insurance case type. Employee onboarding is happening. Parallelly, we also want to do some verification about this person. This is what that verification is all about. Yes, provided the certificates and everything, are they genuine? We want to verify this through a verification process. Does it make sense, guys? Yes? No? Perfect. Now, as part of verification, we will need some properties. You don't have to go to data type and add them. Once you create this verification type, you can go to data model on that case type and you can add those properties, whatever it is. For example, if he is verified, you want to specify he is verified or not, right? Let us say we want to add a field for that. These are properties which this particular case type is inheriting from upper classes. Because this is a child class, you are seeing all those properties. That's fine. Now let's add a field for this particular verification. Let us say if the verification is successful, we'll give them a radio button called verification, which tells success or failure. To do that, I will say add a field, right? And then let us give a name. I can call it verified, and then I can tell this is a pick list, right? Pick list can have a local list which will tell your choice success or failure, verification success or verification failure. Make sense, guys? One field is what we added. Perfect. So along with this, I also need something called as comments to capture if there are any comments. If it is successful, I want to capture successful, and then I want to capture a comment telling that okay, everything looks green, we can proceed with onboarding, something like that. You can grant the insurance, something like that. Comments. Perfect. I added two fields which are specific to insurance class. Sorry, verification. These two fields are specific to verification. Perfect. By default, it has created one of the create flows, which creates a work object, which is fine. So I want to call this create. Let us call this guy. Let's add another stage. And two stages are there. One stage is verification. Information comes here, and here I want to close this. Once the verification is done, case close. I want to close the case once the verification is done. A small sub case, nothing fancy here, right? And in this, what am I doing? I'm going to add a process, right, where I'll be displaying verification details. Perfect. So verification info details. Good. So in this step, what we want to do, we have chosen two fields for this particular step. Let us try to configure that. Configure view. All this is happening in your child case. Yes or no? Right? So let us say we want to add few fields. Add field. Or I think it's already there. Cancel. Expand this fields. You should be able to see your verification field. Let us see. Verified. Add. Just click on plus. That field is here. In the same way, I do have comments. If you don't want to scroll, you can always say comments. Just click on plus. That's it. Job's done. Pretty simple. Nothing fancy here. Did we understand how exactly? Okay, of course, on this case close, I want to resolve this case. You can choose that resolve completed. Perfect. Do we understand how exactly we can add child case to a parent case? Under insurance case, there is a child case. Now let's go to our App Explorer and see if we see any changes. We should be able to see the properties at least which we have added. No, because it is under this guy, which is fine, no problem. So let's proceed further in adding the other case type, other sub case, which is say close. Perfect. I was able to add the verification case type where we did our necessary changes. Now, in the same way, let us say I want another sub case under insurance, which is for approvals. I want to handle approvals also as a separate child case. I can do that. Just click on these three dots on insurance and your parent case. Click on child case. And then just give whatever is the name you want. Let us say we want to call it approvals. Same way, what do you want to do? We want to change the direct inheritance first to refer to insurance. Yes or no? Yes or no, guys? Perfect. Submit. Perfect. This gave me the approval subflow. Of course, I need few fields here also. What are those? Similar to that, I want to capture approved and comments here. So let me add a field for approved. Approved is again yes or no sort of a field, which means it should be a pick list. Yes or no? Let me say click on this drop down. Pick list. Instead of drop down, I want radio buttons. If the session ends, I will send you another link so we can continue and close this. Approve, reject, submit and add another. I want to also want comments for this particular comments. Submit. So two fields I needed. I added. Perfect. Go back to your workflow. Similarly, add another stage, which will be for case closure. Resolve this case when it is on this stage. Perfect. Here, I don't want this to be called as create. I want this to be called as approval gathering, right? We are gathering approvals here. So let me call it approvals. Perfect. So we are taking some approvals here. So we can specify that approve details. Let me add a step to gather the details. Done. Save. So we were successfully able to add two child cases to this parent case. Yes or no? Of course, you have to configure a view for this. Exactly similar to how we did fields plus and you have comments plus. That's it. Job done. Submit. One parent case insurance and two sub cases for that. Does it make sense, guys? Yes? No? Save this case. Very good. So we understood how exactly a case can be created, how exactly we can add stages to it, steps to it, processes to it, how to configure and refer to our flow actions to it, how to jump between stages. Also, how to add child cases or sub cases to parent cases is something we understood. So once this is done, we also need to understand how can you instantiate them, in the sense how can you create work objects for these cases or calling child case inside a parent case. Right now, if you go to insurance case, let me close and open this. Though you have created child cases, where are we calling them here? Are we calling them anywhere? No. How are we establishing that parallel processing, in the sense Whenever a, a candidate is getting onboarded to a company, how can you parallelly initiate his background processing? While his onboarding is going on, his parallel processing with respect to verification should trigger. How can we do that? When the parent case execution starts, child case execution also should start automatically. That concept is called as parallel processing. In case management, it's called as parallel processing. They will ask you what is parallel processing. Ideal example is this thing: when someone is onboarded to a company, at the same time a background verification also gets triggered. The onboarding could be your parent case, and background verification getting triggered is your child case. This is nothing but parallel processing. Same thing can be achieved within Pega also. Of course, you need to have a parent case and child cases for that. It will create separate work objects for each and every case. For example, insurance will have I hyphen something, and approvals will have A hyphen something. Same way, verification will have V hyphen something. Onboarding request will be onboarding hyphen 1234, and verification BGV1 gets created parallelly when this particular user is being onboarded. Does it make sense, guys? How many minutes do we have? Okay. Once this ends, I'll be sending you a new link so we can close this thing today. Perfect. Okay. Now that we know that, okay, we do have these sub cases or child cases for this parent case, we need to call them in this particular parent case. How can we do that? Let's try to understand that. We are in our insurance case. In this case, all I want to do is, where is my approval stage? Okay, I do have approval stage. Let us see if we can delete this. Let me delete this stage. All I want to do is delete this stage from this particular main case, and once this is deleted, I want to be able to add that particular step somewhere in this flow. I have saved this. I also have verification. I also need to see how exactly I can call those. Now, so far, all I have done is I came to my parent case and deleted the uh, approvals case, approval stage. Let me see what can I do for verification. Let me open verification case type, which is a sub case for insurance case type. And let us go to settings here. In the sub case, I have come to settings. All we want to do is we want to see if we can create work object for this particular verification also. While the parent case is moving, we also want to see if the child case also can be created. Once you come on settings for your sub case verification, click on instantiation. Instantiation is nothing but creating a case or an object, stuff like that. That's what we refer to as instantiation. Here, when you come, you see an option called automatically by system. When does it make sense? Just click on this and you will see parent case insurance starts, and then at the same time this also starts getting created. Now whenever you try to instantiate the insurance case, whenever the insurance case gets created, this verification case also gets created. Why? Because we have enabled that here under the instantiation automatically by the system. When parent case insurance starts, we want to start this thing. Does it make sense, guys? Yes? No? Perfect. Let's do one thing. Let's stop here. I'll send you a new link and let's join back on that link. Can you do that? Yes? No? Perfect. So for verification case, what did we do? We came into the verification sub case and we told automatically when the system starts, create this case type is what we have told. So ideally when it gets created, a case with prefix v hyphen should get created. Yes or no? Yes or no, guys? Let us see if that is happening. While we are doing that, let's also see what is reflecting on our app, right? Let's save this. Sorry, I cannot save and my bad. So I just saved and ran this sub case, which I shouldn't have. That's okay. V-1 got created. That's okay. Let's ignore it. Close it. Now, if you go to your app, you will see. Let's refresh my app. Work class. Refresh all. Are we able to see verification and approvals as well? Yes. No. Yes. Right. Approvals. Data model. We created a couple of properties for that. Approved and comments. Yes. No. Same thing for verification. These are my sub cases. Pega automatically created all this for this just because we declared it as child case types for insurance. It has created verification and approval. Are we able to see that, guys? Yes, no. Can everyone hear me? Okay, perfect. Perfect. So far, what we have done is created a parent case insurance. Under that, we have added two sub cases. And in one of the sub case, which is verification, we came and we told instantiate it as soon as the parent case gets started, is what we have told. Let us see if that is happening. Let me open my insurance case. Let me do save and run. If you see the approval information we have removed, so we are not seeing the details here. Are we seeing? Yes, no. Now we have created I-1006, which means parallelly a verification case V hyphen also should get triggered. Yes or no? Because we have checked that. We have checked that. We can verify that. How can you verify that? Just go on your App Explorer, click on verification. It should give you, see, 10:38 now, 10:37, 1 minute before a verification case got triggered. Does it make sense? For I-006, a subcase got triggered. Why did this happen? Because we told the instantiation strategy. Whenever a parent case gets created, create an instantiation for verification case. That is why that got created. Or parallelly you are processing. The user, this guy has cleared interview, start your onboarding process. As soon as the onboarding starts, parallelly the background verification team also got one request to perform background verification. Yes or no? Yes or no, guys? However, approvals is not triggered. Why? Because first of all, we have not enabled that particular instantiation strategy for this guy. We haven't enabled that. See, if you go and see instantiation, we haven't enabled anything for this thing. Let us say if we have to trigger a subflow explicitly from a parent flow, how to do that? We'll also see that. We'll also understand how exactly we can explicitly trigger a subflow from these stages. If we want to trigger a subflow, how can we do it? Now we understood how parallelly we can create it. Yes or no? Parallelly we can create a subflow, or I mean a subcase. For this parent case, we are able to trigger a subcase parallelly. This is nothing but parallel processing. While this case is being progressed, you can go and perform your verification. Yes or no? While this parent flow is being worked on, while the onboarding is going, someone can go and complete the verification. Verification team can carry on with their verification. They can go and perform the verification. Oh, this guy is verified. We are done. So the onboarding will be happening. Success. Submit. See, resolved and completed. Doesn't impact this particular processing. Yes or no? Yes or no, guys? Are we able to understand how exactly parallel processing gets triggered once we have a subcase and we enable instantiation on that? Automatically, when the parent case gets started, verification case also gets executed. We saw that. Whenever you create an insurance case, a verification case gets created. I-1007 corresponding verification case should appear here. Refresh it. See, V3 got created. Does it make sense? Understood, guys, how exactly parallelly you can initiate parent case and a child case? Now, approvals also is there. How can we call it explicitly from our insurance parent case? Let us see. How can we call a child case explicitly from our parent case is what we want to understand. Let us call that from one of the stages. Let us say after the loss information, I want to instantiate or create one child case for approvals. I want to send this for approvals, which we deleted from here. That stage we deleted. Let us see how we can call that through this parent case. Okay, perfect. So doing good so far. Under loss information, let us try to add a new step, which will be for calling this subcase. How can I do it? How can I call a child case? Same thing, how we did a change stage, exactly similarly. Click on step and click on more and go to your automation step. In the automation step, there is something called as create case. Click on that. Select. See, create case. Click on that. What do you want to do? Do you want to create a parent case or you want to create a child case? Yes, no, yes or no, guys? What do you want to create here? As part of insurance flow, approval flow is a child case for approval, insurance case, parent case. Yes or no? Right? That's what we want to do. We choose child case and then you can choose which one is that. Do you want to call again verification, another verification case? No, I want approval case here. Does it make sense? Does it make sense, guys? Very good. Canceling this, showing you again. Let me refresh this guy. Understand this very perfectly. Okay. Now we understood how verification works, how parallel processing can be enabled. Now how can we initiate a child case from a parent case while you are in between one of the stages in a parent case? How can you call or create a child case? All you have to do is whichever stage you want to initiate that in, go to that stage, go to the step where you want to do it. Just click on add step, more, automations, and choose create case. Select. This will give you an option to choose that particular child case. All I want to do here is create a child case to this parent case. Just click on this child case, create child case, and then click on approvals. That's it. Approvals will be set as a child case in order to enable certain capabilities. That's fine, no worries about that. This is it. Too complex, guys. Save, save and run. Now you will see V-4 will get created, your verification case, because whenever insurance case get created, parallel processing for verification is happening. That is why you will see a V4. See, V4 got created 1045. Also, when you keep going further, a child case for, let us see if we have a child case for approvals so far. See, right now approvals has 0 cases. Let us proceed further on this and let us see. Continue, continue. Vehicle info, continue. Loss information, submit. After the first step, see it came here. Let us see if the approvals got created. See, approval subcase got created whenever the parent case is on loss information. Once the loss information is done, it has to trigger a child case for approvals A-1. Are we able to see that, guys? See, the parent is I008. If you click on the case, you will know. Does it make sense? Does it make sense, guys? Yes, no. See, when you open the I1008 insurance case, the parent case is in this stage, address details say. The approval case is here and the verification is here. Are we able to understand how parent and child cases can be created? Yes, no, very good, very important, perfect. So this is something which was really good, which we were able to cover. As part of this, you can also perform some, calculations. Let's see that also while we are here. We're almost good with, the understanding with respect to cases. There is something with respect to locking we will have to discuss. Then you are good to, you know, settle with these. Perfect. Now, let us say we understood parent case, child case relationships. Also, there is some calculations which you can perform as part of your parent case. What are those? Let us try to understand. Once you are in your parent case insurance, go to settings and you can click on calculations here. See, there is something called as calculations. What is this? Using this, you can perform calculation with respect to your child cases. Let's just click on add calculation. See, here you can sum up, for example, how many child cases or parent cases are there under a given case type in a given insurance case type. You can do that. Let us say you want to see what is the quantity of child cases you have under a given case. You can do that total. We have something else, total quantity. Nope. Let me create a property called total quantity. Okay, and then I want to add up these. For example, if I have to add up the quantities, I can say whatever the case type is, verification, whatever quantity it has. And approvals, whatever quantity this guy has. You can add up those. All this will help in is like, for example, to show how many items are there in a given parent case, how many verification and child cases are there. You can identify that using this calculation. I mean, you won't use it extensively, but just letting you know these features also are available. Other than this, something which is more important would be the locking mechanism. Mm, Perfect. So every case comes with a locking mechanism. What is locking mechanism? ability for a case to be performed. For example, how many people can access a given case at a given point of time is what locking is all about. If you see, right now locking is set to allow only one user, in the sense only one user can modify the case at a given time. If any other user tries to access, he will get currently being modified by that user. We saw that when we tried to implement our flow using which we were creating work objects, and at the same time if someone else was accessing from another flow, until unless he closed it, he won't be able to access it. Yes or no? Haven't we seen that, guys? Right? Exactly same thing. Exactly same thing. This is what we are trying to do here also. So insurance case type is set to allow one user, and if someone has opened it and he is not working on it, the timeout value is 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, that lock on that particular case will expire and anyone else can access it. This is a default setting. You can modify it, no issues with that. Let's go to child case and also see if do we have any setting like that. Of course, child cases also come with some locking. See, here it's a default strategy. Instance of this case type can be accessed only by one user at a time. Here also they are telling only one user can access. This also you can modify, allow other users also to access parent case when the child case is open. For example, if you open the child case at the same time, if other users should be able to access the parent cases, you can do that. You can click here and other users can access it. Nothing fancy here, just basic how parent child cases work and how using one user, um, how he can access a case at the same time other users should be able to. It's like telling, for example, while the verification team is performing verification, the other onboarding team can proceed further on the insurance case type, on the onboarding case type. This shouldn't stop them from working on that insurance case type. That's what you're enabling here. That's what you're doing. Does it make sense, guys? This kind of parallel processing is not possible in any normal flows. That is why we have to use case management. All this we are doing is we are managing cases. Parent case, child case, what are these are cases. We are managing cases. This is why this particular module is called as case management. Parallel processing is not possible in normal flows. If you see the normal flows which we saw initially, the flow rules, we can't do it with that. That is why we need this case management to perform parallel processing. Using case management only we can do it. And whatever we did at the design here with respect to adding stages and steps, that is a case designer. Does it make sense? If you want to allow parallel processing, you will have to enable this particular option on all the child cases, not just this, all the child cases. To enable parallel processing, you should enable that on all the child cases. Does it make sense? For multiple users to access your parent case while child case is being worked by one particular user, you have to enable that particular option on all the child cases. Only then others can access the parent case and proceed further. Does it make sense, guys? Perfect. So that's it with respect to case types and case management today. So if this helped you understand, I'll be very happy. I'm happy that you guys were able to make time for this thing, and we will catch up in our next module, which will be with respect to integration. Let's try to see what exactly we'll be covering in our tomorrow's class. Thank you for joining, guys.